Well, okay then. This is my review of the Waymark Gear 30-liter backpack. And I'm wearing it right now. And I'm going to start talking about the features and then the things I like about it, and the one or two things I might not like about it. So first of all, it's got very comfortable shoulder straps. They're padded just enough, not too much, but just enough. I've always been comfortable with them. It's got a sternum strap, which of course is adjustable, as it should be. You can tighten it, you can loosen it. Again, just about the right size. I use a little pocket for my phone, which I actually also got from Waymark, and that's pretty handy to put your phone in, but you can put it in your pocket as well. I got this day pack primarily for winter hiking in the mountains of Vermont. The pack that I had before, a North Face pack, was a lovely pack. I liked it a lot, used it for years, but it really wasn't large enough for what I needed. As all of you who do winter hiking know, when you're climbing up a mountain, you start getting really warm and you start needing to shed layers. And hey Pep, and you need a place to put all those layers. And my old pack just wasn't large enough to fit all that clothing in, as well as the other gears that I like to carry in the pack. So let me take off the pack. And here it is. And let's imagine that it's about 0 degrees, there's a breeze blowing, and we're hiking up Spruce Mountain over there. And we'd like to dress warm when we start off, because it's cold out. 0 degrees is cold, so we want to dress warm. As we're hiking up the mountain, as it gets steeper, especially the upper section, you're getting kind of warm and you're stripping off layers. So typically what I would wear would be a base layer and then a fleece. And I'm imagining that I've already taken off my layers, I've gotten to the top. I'm going to have some tea, maybe a snack, and then I'm going to layer back up again for the hike down. So the first thing about the pack to notice is how it opens and closes. It's got a roll down top, which a lot of packs these days do. This one's really nice because the way it's designed, it's very neat. I like a neat pack. I don't like where it's just kind of scrunched on the top and there's bits hanging out all over the place. So it's got 3 clips that you clip or unclip to open the pack. There's one that goes over the top, there's one on the side, and another one on the other side. You unroll the top, and there's 2 snaps. And these snaps are really great. There's a little bit thicker material on the top, so when you snap the snaps, you can actually roll it down. And again, you can do a nice, neat job of that, which I like a lot. So we'll undo the snaps, and let's see what we've got in the pack. Let's see what we've carried up the mountain with us. Okay, so the first layer is an outer layer, an outer shell, a good winter shell. I like a thing that's going to keep the wind out. This is my little EMS shell. That's a pretty good shell. Underneath that and over the fleece, I would have a vest. Now I like a synthetic vest because you're going to sweat, and of course, as you know, synthetics work whether you're sweating or not. Even when they're wet, they're still working for you, and that's kind of nice. Also, I have my butt pad. This is my Icelandic wool butt pad. My wife knitted this and felted it. You can sit on a rock, you can sit on a log, you can sit on snow. You can't really sit like in a puddle, but anything short of that, it keeps your butt nice and dry and warm. I always have a bag of snacks to bring with me. If I'm going out for a longer hike, say a 10-mile or so, of course I would bring lunch, and that would be a bigger bag. And I always bring my favorite camping mug. Keeps my tea warm, especially again in those really cold days. Make a cup of tea, put it in here, seal it up, nice and toasty warm. So below that is the gear that I don't use on a regular basis, but it's the emergency gear that I like to carry in the winter in the mountains. So wrapped up in a compactor bag, keep it, make sure that it's dry and safe. I have a bivy sack. This is the SOL Escape bivy, and if something, God forbid, were to happen to me up there, I broke a leg or something, I could put on all of my clothing and crawl into this. Most mountains in Vermont do have cell service, so I could call rescue and eventually somebody presumably would come and get me. So I carry a bivy sack, and as an extra layer of clothing, again, in case of emergency, I have a puffy. This one is also synthetic. This is the Patagonia Micro. It's actually surprisingly warm. It adds a lot of warmth when you put this on, especially with all this other stuff over here. And as you notice, that all fit very comfortably and very easily into this pack, which also tends to stand up, which I also like, because when you're loading it, it's a lot easier than when it keeps tipping over. So some other features of the pack are the side pockets, which as you can see can carry 2 water bottles. I always carry a thermos of boiling hot water for making tea or cocoa, but I could add another water bottle or even another thermos if I was going out for a long time. There's a front pocket where I have a dry bag with a journal and toilet paper, a knife, matches, things like that. The matches, toilet paper probably would be better off inside, but I carry it here. And that brings me to one of the drawbacks to this pack, which is you'll notice that this is a spandex pocket here. And that's great because you can put a ton of gear in there. But if you can see, when you do put a ton of gear in there, the top is open, all right? And if you're hiking through snowy forests with the trees and the shrubs covered with snow, all that snow is going to get down in there. And it's a big hassle. It gets literally filled up with snow. Okay, there's a little loop for an ice axe, and there's a little tie off for that up here. I can put trekking poles in this as well because I'm using my snow cups on the hiking poles. I put the handles down through there, and I use a beaner to snap the straps of the trekking poles to the loop, and then no problem carrying the trekking poles if I have to use hands to get up and down the mountain. So that works pretty good. Another thing, again, they might want to think about doing is putting one of these on this side and one of these on this side, and then obviously it would be the easiest thing in the world to carry 2 trekking poles. But this works fine, so it's not really necessary. One of the things I really like about this pack is, well, two things actually. It's very well made. It's very well put together. The stitching is really stout, really well done. And the design of the pack itself is very well thought out. And that's very important to me. So I like this so much for next year's backpacking season. I'm thinking pretty seriously of ordering a backpack from them as well. The material itself is pretty water resistant, so if it's misting or drizzling, no problems at all. Like any non-Dyneema material, it's not waterproof, so if it's a torrential downpour, things in there are going to get wet, which is one of the reasons I use the compactor bag for the my puffy. Just make sure that at least keeps dry. So you got to think about that. Also, the sweat through your back, because again, there's no suspension on this, your back is going to sweat against the back of the pack in the usual way. So it's a pretty great pack. I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's 30 liters. It costs $175. It weighs about 14 and a half ounces. Mine probably a little bit more because I have a little pouch for the phone on it. And it's made by the Waymark Gear Company. And you can contact them, go online, find them. And they don't make a lot of gear, which is actually good. But what they do make seems to be really, really top quality. So, the Mile, which is the name of this day pack, gets my very highest recommendation. I love it. I've used it about 60 times now since I've gotten it. It still looks brand new, no signs of wear. It is, I think, the perfect day pack for hiking mountains in north central Vermont. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or thoughts or ideas, just put them down below in the usual way. And check out Waymark's website, see what they've got to offer. Thanks a lot. Bye now.